Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. 2 people have pleaded not guilty following a dramatic raid at Dover 3 months ago. Fahid and Tracy Elniz are now expected to stand trial in the Supreme Court over trafficking a controlled substance.
From the air, sea and land, officers descending on Dover left no stone unturned as the town's peace and quiet was shattered in a dramatic June raid. 60 Tasmanian and federal police swooped on properties, seizing evidence and documents. Dogs sniffed out cars, fishing vessels were boarded and stripped. A cafe also bore the brunt of the sting. The operation had been 6 months in the making. A man and woman, both 44, were arrested. Authorities allege the pair had links to the Bandidos outlaw motorcycle gang. Today, Fahid and Tracy Elniz face the Hobart Magistrates Court, both pleading not guilty to trafficking a controlled substance. Mr Elniz is also pleading not guilty to supporting a criminal organisation. Both accused remain on bail. They'll next face the Hobart Supreme Court on November 16, where they'll be committed to stand trial. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian police officer at the centre of a fatal pedestrian crash in Launceston earlier this year has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter. Aaron Tasman Bonner today faced the Magistrates Court. The 39-year-old was allegedly behind the wheel of a police car in the CBD, which collided with another vehicle, crashing into 2 passengers from New South Wales. Sadly, a man died at the scene. Bonner has been committed to stand trial in the Supreme Court in November. Investigations are continuing into a fire which destroyed a large shed on Menga Road at Forest early yesterday morning. The blaze tore through the structure, destroying almost everything in its path and causing an estimated $4 million damage. A range of industrial goods, including mining and boating equipment, were inside the building. A parliamentary inquiry has heard the COVID-19 pandemic exposed key knowledge gaps in Tasmania's health system. Australia's Public Health Association is calling for the state to increase its health budget, saying coronavirus has revealed skill shortages, with Tasmania employing too few field epidemiologists.
The pandemic has highlighted gaps in current public health workforce, such as the limited number of nurses with training in public health to support response efforts and manage contact tracing and testing processes.
The association also said the state's isolation has so far shielded Tasmania from the worst of the virus as borders remain firmly shut. Boxes of produce are sitting idle on runways as crayfishers struggle to overcome coronavirus freight hurdles. Cherry growers are also questioning how they'll ship their goods to Asian markets as the busy summer season draws closer.
Times were already tough for crayfishers in February. Cut off from key international markets, they turned to selling from their boats.
You know, no one knows. I'm sort of in touch with our cray buyer every day and it's the same answer every day, don't know.
More than 6 months later, things aren't much better, and the reason is simple.
China's buying fish, but just can't get it there.
He says stock is being left in airports or being sold in Sydney at a heavy discount.
Our biggest fear is maybe in November, December, when the cray season reopens and when the fish are good, how they're going to get them out then, you know.
It's a similar concern for cherry growers who harvest and send stock in summer. Ian Newnham had relied on passenger planes to reach Asian markets. He hopes the Commonwealth will continue subsidising freight flights.
The feds have put a fair bit of money into it. That money's rapidly disappearing. I hope there's going to be a bit more for us after January.
The state government says it's preparing its own contingency plans ahead of summer harvests.
We recognise the anxiousness that industry are having, particularly our cherry producers and our producers of a perishable product.
Ian has lost entire harvests before. You won't find any pessimists at this orchard.
Part of the challenge, I'm pretty sure most cherry growers and most farmers here in Tasmania are going to be more than up for the challenge.
Perhaps the pandemic has met its match. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
The University of Tasmania has announced an independent inquiry will be launched into its former Vice-Chancellor Peter Rathjen. It follows the release of a damning report from South Australia's Anti-Corruption Commission, which found he inappropriately touched 2 women and lied when under investigation when he was the head of the University of Adelaide. A Melbourne-based barrister has been appointed to determine whether any unreported or undetected incidents occurred during his tenure in Tasmania. One of Tasmania's newest schools is fast establishing itself as a highly regarded spot for alternative education. Students of the Big Picture School say the learning experience has been positive, and a new report agrees.
For these students, mainstream learning methods were not working.
I was at a different school last year and I hated going to school.
Creative pursuits were going unrecognised.
Kids are so different, like you can't just put them in a box, you need to have alternatives.
But at Launceston's Big Picture School, they found their focus.
I get the work done better and I get it done faster as well.
The school's glowing references not just confined to students. A new report by the Peter Underwood Centre also casts it in a positive light.
And a testament, of course, to our students and our staff and the leadership of the school.
It's the hands-on learning, specialised curriculum and inclusive environment that the principal says has led to the number of enrolments skyrocketing by 50 students in only 2 years. The new buildings are almost at capacity.
We're a small school by design, but we certainly are growing significantly.
Big picture programs are also being offered in a number of areas across the state, presenting another strong case for alternative education, and those in the classroom say they'll never turn back.
I wake up happy I'm going to a fun place and seeing all my friends, and the teachers are great here, so I love it.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian couple was ventured a long way off the beaten track, tying the knot on a very special remote island. Cara and Josh making history, impressing the special few there to witness their connection.
Tasman Island's dramatic coastline, towering cliffs and vast ocean in all its glory. For Cara and Josh Telford, this is the pinnacle of romance. So much so they married here today.
Well worth it. So well
Absolutely.
worth it.
It was a quiet event with just the pair and those making it all official.
But I wanted for us to have something super unique that no one has ever done before.
The rest is history, which they've now made. The couple believe they're the first to be married on the island.
Cara and Josh stood right on that cement platform at the northern end of the island, very close to the pillars so you could see it behind them.
The planning wasn't too difficult. They found a helicopter, a celebrant and people to capture the moments.
Do it for yourselves because it's your day.
Stress.
But true to tradition, there were nerves involved.
I wasn't nervous about the getting married. It was actually the flying.
The couple has been together for 7 years, engaged for 6. The now newlyweds wanted to elope, with coronavirus making that idea much clearer.
This brings it back to just the unit itself, so I think it's very, very special.
Now we are even more of a team. We are more connected than ever.
Stepping off their chauffeured helicopter, ready to go and visit 2 very important little people.
Going home to our girls.
A dream day with all the perfect trimmings. Louise Hubar, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, organisers of this weekend's 5-kilometre Pink Run believe there are big upsides to the event going virtual this year. There won't be a sea of colour in Launceston like we've seen in previous events due to COVID gathering restrictions. However, with people forced to log their own individual journey from anywhere in the country, interest has spread.
We've got probably 2/3 of people are still based in the greater Launceston region, and then the other third come from all over the rest of the state.
Do it with your partner, do it with your loved one, do it with your mum.
Organisers have already raised more than $90,000. Schools and workplaces across the state have heard the importance of communication for positive mental health. Are You OK Day shining a light on what's a challenging issue for many, especially during a difficult year.
These Year 7 students preparing to share some very important advice.
I'll tell them if you see someone that looks down or hasn't been talking to you for a while or has been acting differently, ask them, are you okay?
In a year dominated by sad news, there's never been a better time to check in with those around you.
Very important because it could change someone's life if you ask them, are you okay?
We all know what it's like to be going through a difficult time, and when someone asks how you're travelling and do you need to get something off your chest, we all know that's a great feeling.
For Are You OK Day, ambassadors spreading that crucial message far and wide.
What we really want to do is to try and, build connection amongst all Australians, so you spot those signs early.
It's just starting these conversations and bringing awareness and people understanding that, the bravest thing to do is to speak up when you're struggling.
This year's theme is what to do after asking the original question.
So they're spreading some really positive phrases such as, I'll go with you to get support, or that's okay to feel that way, and normalise that conversation.
You could change someone's life by having a conversation.
Hoping the years ahead will see that conversation keep flowing. Louise Huber, 7 Tasmania News.
And if you or someone you know needs support, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. A new locally made cheese has hit the shelves, designed for those looking to support homegrown products but not break the bank. In response to the coronavirus strain on supply lines into the state, Ashgrove has launched its everyday cheddar. It's the first locally produced product of its kind since Fonterra ceased production of Table Cape in 2013.
Aimed at Tasmanian mums and dads that they can put out for their kids. It's an affordable cheese.
We've noticed that customers are opting more and more to buy trusted, more established brands, which they've known since childhood.
The cheese will only be available to buy in Tasmanian stores.
Kingborough has staged a huge comeback to derail North Hobart's finals hopes. The D's faded badly after half-time and frustration soon became obvious. After being down by 4 goals at half-time, this is the moment the night turned for Kingborough.
He throws it on the boot, goes to the square, doesn't need to go to the square, goes over the top of the square and kicks a wonderful goal.
Luke Graham's miracle snap gave the Tigers the kick-start they needed. Lockie Griggs added fuel to the fire with a long bomb on the run. And the capped crowd got more than they bargained for, with fights under lights as frustration peaked between the two sides. The match review panel will potentially cast an eye over the melees, but Kingborough landed the final blow, keeping North Hobart goalless in the second half and winning by 5 points. The action continues on Saturday when North Launceston travels to Clarence's temporary home ground at Richmond for the first time.
Nathan Pearce will play his first senior game for the year. He joined us late in the pre-season and has done a mountain of work up until now.
The Roos beat Lauderdale, but not without a toll.
Clint Riley's hurt his knee. He'll probably miss 2 to 3 weeks. Ethan Jackson's got a bit of a sore knee, so he's another one that needs to get through. I think if my counting's right, could potentially be 7 changes.
The State League netball season is coming close to finals time, and Arrows will be set for a top 4 finish if they can overcome Cripps. Arrows had a big turnover of players this season. The captain says finals experience will help her Chargers build.
Big difference between our previous years and this year. We've got a lot of new players, and we've definitely gotten better throughout the year.
And Ariane Titmus will return for the second season of the International Swimming League. Titmus swims for the Cali Condors. Her biggest rival, Katie Ledecky, is sitting out the season. 2 Tassie footy clubs are putting rivalries aside to pay respect to a former player. Bracknell's Kyle Gray tragically took his life earlier this year, prompting the clubs to put a special focus on mental health. A big smile, adored by his teammates and forever a premiership player, Kyle Gray was indeed a loved member of the Bracknell Football Club. But his tragic death earlier this year has reminded the Redlegs about looking out for each other.
Kyle had a few really good mates at the footy club that I've probably grown closer to as well. So we talk about him all the time, and we have a laugh about him and have a cry together.
On this Are You OK Day, Bracknell and Meander Valley are launching a commemorative cup for this weekend's clash in support of Speak Up, Stay Chatty, while regular skipper Corey Goodluck will step aside to give Kyle's good mate Jake Hewitt the chance to be captain for the day.
He'd do anything for Kyle as Kyle would do anything for him, so I thought it'd be one last hurrah this year now in our little short season we've had for Jake to lead us out.
As an added sign of respect, Hewitt will wear Kyle's old playing number and initials in his honour.
It'd definitely be an emotional day.
Meander Valley was eager to be part of the day. Coach Damien Rind went through a similar tragedy when coaching a previous club.
outside the white line, you know, we see each other in the community. We always say good day, hello, and that sort of stuff really does rock the community.
The emotional clash will be played at Westbury on Saturday. And if you need support, help's available at Lifeline on 13 11 14.
Good evening. Temperatures over the west crept above average today. Strawn out top with 18 degrees. Hobart reached 17, Launceston 16, Devonport 14. Maydena 17 today, Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches and Groves 16, King Island 15, Low Head and St Helens 14, Lyawini -4 to a high of 9 as we had a few lingering showers overnight but no significant falls today. Bit of low-level cloud streamed over the north and northeast of Tasmania but mostly clear skies elsewhere. A cold front has a cloud band moving over the Bight with cold open cellular air behind it. A trough has caused the cloud over Queensland and onshore winds brought cloud to the New South Wales coast. Tomorrow the high continues to influence the southeast of the country. The next high is well back near Western Australia with a cold front in between right on our doorstep. Northeast northwesterly winds at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the west and south. A southwesterly change expected tomorrow evening. Swells to 4 metres in southern waters. Strong wind warning from Wineglass Bay clockwise to Stanley. Hobart for Friday, rain developing late in the day, 19 the top, 19 for Huonville with that same forecast. In fact, rain developing over most of Tasmania tomorrow, 19 the top also for Campania. Launceston a bit the same, late rain and 17, 15 for Devonport, late rain for Georgetown, 17 the maximum. Burnie expecting 15 degrees with the rain on the way, Strawn 18 and 15 for Wynyard. St Helens tomorrow, rain later in the day, a few showers there, 18 the top, 19 for Swansea and Port Arthur. On Saturday, rain easing to showers over the west but continuing into the evening for the rest of the state. Mainly fine on Sunday, showers developing over the west and south in the afternoon, and on Monday a few showers less likely over the east. Partly cloudy in Perth, 26 tomorrow in Adelaide, becoming cloudy over Melbourne, fine for Canberra with 17 and Sydney on 20 degrees, showers and 20 in Brisbane. Mostly clear in Hobart, 11 right now, 11 degrees in Launceston, currently 10 degrees in Devonport. And I know you're interested, Kim, in Antarctica at the moment, it's -19.
Very chilling. That cold weather hasn't stopped expeditioners there from capturing a rare encounter with local wildlife. This emperor penguin followed in the happy feet of hikers as they trudged through ice before coming up to say hello.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Keep up.
Not content with just a quick chat, the straggler tagged along with the team for a number of minutes towards the Mawson Research Station. Aren't they amazing? That is your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.